Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, untamed wilderness, 1.4 million years ago. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and vegetation, the distant roar of a predator echoing through the valleys. Towering trees sway as a sudden gust of wind sends leaves tumbling across the uneven terrain. This was the world of early humans, a place both breathtaking and unforgiving. Picture a small group moving cautiously across a riverbank, their eyes scanning for danger, hands gripping rudimentary stone tools shaped by countless hours of trial and error. Each step is a calculated risk. Every sound could signal opportunity or death. Have you ever wondered how these first humans managed to survive in such perilous landscapes? They had no maps, no warning systems, and no safety nets. Survival was a daily test of ingenuity, courage, and instinct. These ancestors had to read the land like an open book, interpreting signs from the wind, the tracks of animals, the rustle of distant foliage. Every meal was a reward for careful planning, every night spent in shelter a testament to their resourcefulness. The scene unfolds as a lone Homo erectus pauses near a rocky outcrop, scanning the horizon. Their eyes are alert, muscles tense, sensing movement in the tall grass. Nearby, mammoth-sized creatures graze obliviously, while sharp-eyed predators slink in the shadows, always watching, always waiting. It is a world where intelligence and collaboration outweigh brute strength, where understanding your environment can mean the difference between life and death. Imagine the first sparks of cooperation igniting here, simple gestures evolving into shared knowledge about hunting grounds, food sources, and safe havens. These moments were small but monumental steps toward human survival. Even in these early stages, the foundations of strategy, empathy, and communication were being etched into the human story. So, as we step further into this ancient wilderness, consider this. What would you do if every decision could be your last? How would you navigate a world where every shadow hides danger and every opportunity demands courage? As you ponder this, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. What survival skill do you think would be most vital if you were there? The camera pans across the wild landscape, capturing every detail of this raw, unyielding environment. In the distance, the first flickers of human ingenuity begin to shine, and the stage is set for the remarkable journey of survival, adaptation, and evolution that lies ahead. From here, we move into understanding exactly who these early humans were and the skills that made them masters of their world. Step into the lives of the early humans who roamed the earth 1.4 million years ago. Among them, Homo erectus stands as one of the most remarkable pioneers. Tall, with strong limbs and a physique built for endurance, they were hunters, gatherers, and innovators, navigating landscapes where danger and opportunity existed side by side. Unlike other species, Homo erectus displayed a keen intelligence, crafting rudimentary tools from stone and wood, turning the simplest resources into instruments of survival. Imagine a group moving along the edge of a savanna, their coordinated steps reflecting an unspoken communication honed over generations. They were more than mere survivors. They were strategists. Each decision, from where to forage to when to retreat from predators, was informed by observation, memory, and shared experience. Life required constant adaptation. They observed the migration of herds, the shifting of seasons, and the subtle signs of impending danger. Yet survival was not only about brute strength or sharp tools, it was their social structure that defined them. Bonds within the group were essential. The sharing of food, cooperative hunting, and caring for the young and injured formed the backbone of their existence. Communication was still limited, but gestures, expressions, and early vocalizations allowed coordination during hunts or warning of threats. This embryonic social intelligence was their greatest weapon, shaping not only individual survival, but the resilience of the entire group. Their hands, capable of precise manipulation, were tools themselves. Stones became axes, sharpened sticks became spears, and with these simple inventions, they expanded their capacity to hunt, defend, and process food. Fire was still beyond their reach at this stage in many regions, so ingenuity and timing were critical. They needed to strike at the right moment, avoid overexertion, and always respect the power of the environment around them. Homo erectus were not merely existing, they were shaping their world, learning its rules, and laying the foundation for every human who would follow. Their intelligence, adaptability, and social bonds ensured that despite the perilous conditions, life endured. As we continue our journey, the next question arises. How did these humans navigate the treacherous terrain itself, turning every hill, river, and dense forest into both a challenge and an opportunity? The landscape 1.4 million years ago was a world of extremes, a place where beauty and peril intertwined at every turn. Vast savannas stretched endlessly, their tall grasses hiding lurking predators that could strike without warning. Jagged cliffs and rocky outcrops challenged even the most agile of humans, forcing careful navigation and constant vigilance. Rivers carved through the land, a vital source of water and food, yet home to crocodiles and other lethal threats. Every step across this terrain demanded attention, courage, and adaptability. Imagine a group of early humans crossing a shallow river, balancing on slippery rocks, their eyes darting to shadows beneath the rippling water. In the distance, a herd of grazing herbivores moves cautiously, ears flicking at the slightest sound, mirroring the human's own tense awareness. The terrain dictated the rhythm of life. Open plains offered opportunities for hunting, but exposed them to predators, while dense forests provided cover yet limited visibility and slowed movement. Survival was a constant negotiation with the environment. Seasonal shifts brought new challenges. Rainstorms turned paths into treacherous mudslides, while droughts forced humans to follow animal migrations over vast distances. Every topographical feature became both obstacle and opportunity. High ground offered safety and a vantage point for spotting prey, while lowlands could conceal danger but also abundant resources. Knowledge of the land, learned and shared across generations, became a critical survival tool. The dangerous terrain was also a teacher. Humans learned to read subtle signs, broken branches, animal tracks, the direction of the wind. Understanding these cues meant the difference between a successful hunt and a fatal encounter. Every risk was calculated. Instinct alone could not suffice. It was in mastering this intricate, unpredictable world that early humans honed their intelligence, cooperation, and resilience. As the camera pans over rolling hills and deep valleys, the drama of survival becomes clear. This is a world where every decision carries weight, and yet it is precisely this danger that shapes ingenuity. From these landscapes, humans drew their lessons, developing strategies that would define the next chapter. How to hunt and gather effectively in a place that offered both sustenance and constant threat. In a world teeming with danger, survival depended on the cleverness and cooperation of early humans. Hunting was never a solitary affair. It was a dance of strategy and timing, a choreography honed over countless generations. Imagine a group of Homo erectus stalking a herd of antelope across the golden savanna. Each member has a role. Some distract, others flank, while the most experienced strike at the precise moment. Stone-tipped spears, sharpened sticks, and crude clubs were extensions of their minds, tools designed with purpose and skill. Gathering complemented hunting in ways that ensured the group's survival. The dense forests held edible roots, tubers, and fruits, each requiring knowledge of seasons and terrain. Humans observed the behavior of animals, learning which plants were safe and which were poisonous. This combination of observation, experimentation, and shared knowledge transformed mere survival into a sophisticated system of resource management. Yet the act of hunting was not without peril. Predators, lions, hyenas, and massive reptiles watched silently from the shadows, ready to seize the unwary. Every hunt required constant vigilance, a balance of aggression and caution. The humans' ingenuity was evident not only in their tools, but in their ability to collaborate, to anticipate movement, and to adapt in real time. It was a delicate interplay of risk and reward, survival, and strategy. Consider the moments when a hunt failed. These were not mere losses, but lessons, encoded into memory and shared as guidance for future generations. Each mistake honed the group's ability to predict animal behavior, to select ambush points, and to coordinate movements with precision. Over time, patterns emerged, and knowledge became as valuable as physical strength. Now, think about the tools themselves. Early humans shaped stones not just for immediate use, but with foresight, edges angled to cut, points designed to pierce, and shafts balanced for accuracy. These instruments turned ordinary humans into capable hunters, demonstrating the seamless integration of intelligence and manual skill. As you reflect on this intricate survival system, imagine the conversation around the fire after a successful hunt, sharing stories, debating strategies, teaching the young. The sophistication of these early humans was remarkable. What strategy do you think was most crucial for survival in such a dangerous world? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation about the ingenuity of our ancestors. From here, the journey leads us into encounters with the magnificent and sometimes terrifying megafauna that dominated the landscape, shaping not only survival, but the evolution of early human strategy. The world of 1.4 million years ago was not only perilous because of predators or harsh terrain, it was dominated by creatures of immense size and strength, the megafauna that inspired both awe and fear. Imagine walking across the open plains and suddenly encountering a herd of elephant-like stegodonts, their massive frames moving with surprising grace. Every step of these giants caused the ground to tremble, and the humans, small by comparison, had to rely on cunning and observation rather than brute force. Encounters with these enormous creatures were a test of ingenuity. Some were potential sources of food, but the risk of injury or death was immense. Humans had to gauge the animal's behavior, choosing when to approach, when to withdraw, and how to strike with minimal exposure. Even scavenging required caution. Large predators often followed the same herds, and a single misstep could attract deadly attention. In other instances, megafauna were silent observers, shaping human movement across the landscape. Rivers became lifelines, but also barriers when crocodiles and giant tortoises patrolled the waters. Forested areas offered shelter and plant resources, yet massive predators such as saber-toothed cats and hyenas could emerge from the shadows at any moment. Survival required not only understanding individual animals, but also predicting patterns of migration, aggression, and social behavior. The presence of such colossal animals forced early humans to innovate. Hunting tactics became more elaborate, tools more precise, and group cooperation more critical than ever. Simple observation turned into strategic insight. Knowing which paths the herds took, where the young and weak grazed, and how to exploit the landscape to minimize danger. These experiences honed instincts that would endure for millennia. Through these encounters, early humans learned respect, patience, and timing. Each interaction, whether it ended in a successful hunt or a narrow escape, contributed to the collective knowledge of the group. It was in these moments of risk and observation that humans began to understand the delicate balance of their ecosystem, where survival depended on reading the movements of the largest and most formidable creatures in their world. As we continue, the focus shifts to the very substance of survival, diet and nutrition. How did early humans transform these encounters and their environment into reliable sources of sustenance in a world dominated by giants? Survival 1.4 million years ago depended on more than skill and courage. It depended on understanding what to eat, when to eat it, and how to make the most of every scarce resource. Early humans were omnivores, but their diet was far from random. It was shaped by the environment, seasons, and the constant interplay between risk and reward. Meat provided essential protein and energy, while roots, tubers, fruits, and seeds offered vital nutrients. Water sources dictated daily movement, and access to both food and hydration could mean the difference between life and death. Imagine a small group foraging along the edge of a forest, carefully identifying edible plants while staying alert for predators. Each discovery required knowledge passed down through observation and experience. Which roots were nutritious, which fruits were ripe, which leaves could be consumed safely. The ability to distinguish life-sustaining food from deadly plants was a skill honed over generations, encoded in memory, and shared within the group. Meat from hunted animals was not always easy to secure. The hunt required precision, teamwork, and patience. Once caught, processing it demanded ingenuity, breaking bones for marrow, cutting flesh into manageable portions, and preserving what could be eaten later. In colder regions, the earliest use of fire, even if intermittent, allowed them to cook and soften food, unlocking nutrients that raw consumption could not provide. Seasonality added another layer of complexity. Certain plants were only available during specific months, and animal migrations created fluctuating opportunities for hunting. Early humans had to anticipate these cycles, adjusting their movements and strategies accordingly. Those who mastered this rhythm were more likely to survive harsh conditions and nourish the next generation. Even amidst the constant threat of predators and environmental challenges, the quest for food was central to their existence. Diet shaped the body, influenced behavior, and reinforced social structures. Sharing food strengthened bonds, teaching cooperation and empathy, and ensuring that even the weakest had a chance to endure. As we follow this journey, it becomes clear that survival was not a solitary endeavor. It was the intricate dance of knowledge, skill, and adaptability. From understanding what to eat, the story now shifts to the role of social cooperation in survival, a key factor in how early humans navigated an unforgiving world. In the harsh landscapes of 1.4 million years ago, survival was rarely the achievement of a single individual. Early humans relied on the strength of their social bonds, turning cooperation into the most powerful tool in their arsenal. Imagine a small band moving cautiously along a riverbank, each member attuned to the movements of the others. A sudden rustle in the grass sends a ripple of alert through the group. Without communication, their chances of escape would be slim, but together they coordinate, warn, and protect. An intricate dance of trust and instinct. Cooperation extended beyond mere survival. Hunting strategies depended on coordinated efforts, with some individuals driving prey toward waiting hunters, others maintaining watch for predators. Sharing food was not just generosity, it was necessity. Stronger or more experienced hunters ensured that young, old, and injured members had sustenance, fostering survival of the group as a whole. This social structure allowed knowledge to flow. The young learned which plants were edible, how to read animal tracks, and how to use tools effectively. Every act of collaboration strengthened resilience. Communication, though primitive, was remarkable in its effectiveness. Gestures, facial expressions, and early vocalizations conveyed warnings, strategies, or observations about the environment. Early humans understood that survival depended on anticipating threats collectively and responding as a unit. Trust and recognition became a language of its own, critical for the safety of the group and the success of hunting endeavors. Beyond hunting, cooperation shaped daily life. Shelter construction, foraging routes, and even conflict avoidance were managed socially. Groups that could cooperate efficiently were more likely to withstand harsh winters, avoid predators, and exploit scarce resources. Social intelligence became as vital as physical skill, embedding empathy, planning, and foresight into the core of human behavior. Consider this. Without such cooperation, even the most skilled hunter would falter in the wilderness. Survival was a shared venture, reliant on the connections and interactions of every member. How do you think early humans learned to work together so effectively? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and imagine life in a world where collaboration determined life or death. From this foundation of social unity, humans moved forward, harnessing another crucial advancement, the mastery of fire, which would forever change the way they lived, ate, and protected themselves. Fire was more than warmth. It was a revolution. For early humans, 1.4 million years ago, discovering and harnessing fire meant extending the boundaries of survival. Imagine a group huddled near flickering flames as darkness descends over the savanna. Shadows dance on the rocks, predators linger at a distance, and the aroma of roasted meat fills the air. Fire illuminated not only the night, but also the path to safety, sustenance, and social cohesion. The ability to cook transformed their diet. Roots became digestible, meat easier to chew, and toxins were neutralized, allowing humans to access nutrients previously unreachable. This simple act of heating food extended life expectancy, improved energy efficiency, and strengthened bodies, preparing them to endure the trials of a dangerous world. It also fostered community. Gatherings around the fire became moments for sharing knowledge, teaching younger members, and reinforcing social bonds. Beyond food, fire was a defensive tool. Its light and heat kept predators at bay, transforming once hostile nights into survivable stretches of time. The human's relationship with fire required vigilance and skill, gathering fuel, controlling flames, and preventing disaster. Mastery of fire demanded planning, foresight, and coordination, reflecting both intelligence and social cohesion. Fire also offered the first hints of human ingenuity over nature. With it, humans could explore caves safely, venture further from water sources at night, and expand territories. The interplay between fire and human life marked the beginning of environmental manipulation, a defining step in evolution. As the flames crackled, early humans were not merely reacting to the world, they were shaping it. The warmth of the fire illuminated the strategies, cooperation, and skills that allowed survival to become more than a daily gamble. From here, humans learned to refine their approaches, adapt more effectively, and anticipate challenges in ways their ancestors could not. With fire as both tool and symbol of ingenuity, early humans moved into the next stage of survival, learning from mistakes and shaping wisdom that would endure for generations. Survival 1.4 million years ago was an unending lesson in trial and error. Every misstep, every failed hunt, and every encounter with a predator carried knowledge that could mean life or death for the next day. Imagine a young Homo erectus attempting to spear a wildebeest, only to have the prey escape at the last moment. The frustration and risk of injury were tangible, yet the lessons learned were invaluable. Each mistake became a story, a memory etched into the collective wisdom of the group. Mistakes were not failures, they were guidance. Humans observed the consequences of their actions, adapted techniques, and taught younger members the importance of caution, timing, and strategy. A misjudged river crossing, a poorly chosen ambush site, or misreading animal tracks provided data, shaping future decisions with ever greater precision. These repeated experiences honed instincts, sharpened intelligence, and reinforced cooperation within the group. The environment itself was a teacher. Seasonal floods, droughts, and sudden storms forced early humans to adapt quickly. Those who could read subtle signs, dark clouds forming in the distance, the scent of rain on the wind, tracks indicating predator movement, gained the advantage. Adaptation was a constant process, requiring observation, memory, and flexibility. Even social mistakes carried weight. Sharing too little, arguing over resources, or failing to coordinate could result in scarcity or danger. Over time, social learning became as critical as physical skill, reinforcing empathy, collaboration, and communication. Every success and every failure contributed to an evolving knowledge base that increased the likelihood of survival for all members of the group. Through these lessons, early humans developed resilience and creativity. Life in a world of giants, predators, and unpredictable terrain was unforgiving, yet each error provided insight that could prevent disaster next time. The journey of survival was as much about learning as it was about strength or speed, teaching humans to anticipate, adapt, and innovate. From understanding mistakes comes wisdom, and the next chapter takes us to the legacy of these lessons, showing how early human survival shaped the future generations who would inherit the earth. As the golden light of the setting sun spills across the vast ancient plains, the silhouettes of early humans fade into the horizon, a quiet tribute to resilience itself. Their world was raw, unpredictable, and relentless. Yet from that chaos, they carved the first chapter of the human story. Through fire, strategy, and cooperation, they transformed vulnerability into strength, leaving behind more than footprints in the dust. They left the essence of what it means to survive. Every spark struck from stone, every coordinated hunt, every lesson shared around a fire became part of an inheritance we still carry today. These early humans were more than survivors. They were innovators, explorers of their own limits. They learned that strength alone could not ensure survival. Only adaptability, unity, and curiosity could. That spirit, born in the heart of danger, became humanity's most enduring trait. Picture the world they inhabited, filled with predators, storms, and uncertainty. Against all odds, they persisted, their minds sharpening with every challenge. Over generations, the knowledge of when to hunt, where to shelter, and how to endure became instinct. That instinct shaped evolution, guiding our ancestors toward a future where intelligence, not size or speed, defined dominance. Their legacy lives within us. Every decision to adapt, to cooperate, to seek knowledge echoes those primal choices made on the edge of extinction. The courage that kept them alive continues to drive exploration, discovery, and progress. Humanity's story began not with comfort, but with struggle, and that struggle forged the strength of our species. If you've journeyed this far through the ancient world, take a moment to reflect on their story. What lessons from these first humans still resonate today? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden chapters of our prehistoric past, make sure to subscribe for more stories that bring the dawn of humanity to life. Your curiosity keeps this journey alive. The flames of their fires may have faded long ago, but their light still burns, within us, within our history, and within every question that drives us to understand where we came from and who we are.